to start episode 14.
Oh, we're actually going to start it like that? Hey, I mean, fuck it, right?
Jesus
We've
Christ.
had worse intros.
It's true.
We sure have. Oh my god.
Alright, episode 14, I think.
Is it? I'm just going to assume that we're 14, 15.
I think it's 14.
All
I
right.
don't want to have to look this up.
Let's
don't
not.
have to.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Hey, when I say it's not worth it, that doesn't mean actually start looking it up. God damn it.
14.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
We should keep track
14.
of this a little bit better.
Well,
Okay.
last week,
We're in
I
too
wasn't
deep.
involved, so I
Yeah.
can't remember. I missed 2-3 weeks at a time.
True.
Yeah, because last week we recorded on a different day.
Yeah.
You monster.
Not my fault. I was scheduled for back-to-back 13-hour shifts.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like your fault for having a job that does that.
Oh, yeah, that's my fault.
Yeah.
Hot Tub Sqwadcast. I'm just saying.
I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that. It's a very weird, intimate setting to podcast in.
Yeah, I mean, and considering, like, we've only ever had, like, women on the Sqwadcast, what, 2-3 times now?
Adam was on one. Education was on the other.
Sarah.
Sarah was on
So
2 weeks ago.
3 times. 3 out of 14
I
now.
think.
Right?
It's
So,
really-
so statistically speaking, there's
This is
like
a
this is
sausage fest. Gotcha.
pretty much we're basically going to be brewing dick soup in that hot tub.
Fun fact
Dick soup.
about Dick Soup. No. When
Campbell's.
when I was trained on the hot tub, there's a 15-minute limit. Like, after 15 minutes, I gotta kick you out for a few minutes, and then you can get back in. And my supervisor was like, yeah, because after 15 minutes, you start to cook. And we don't want that. So, don't stay in the hot tub for more than 15 minutes.
So hot tub Sqwadcast would mostly be splashing sounds.
Basically. It'd be like our feet. It'd be 15
That's
minutes.
the gayest shit ever.
And
We're
then
not-
we'd, like, get it out for 15. And then... just saying.
Campbell's
Fine, I'll-
chunky dick soup. Possibility. Or whatever the fuck they're...
Why does
What is their slogan?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it good?
Yeah.
Not
But-
possibilities.
Not possibilities. I said possibilities.
Who did possibility? Never mind. We shouldn't. Let's not go off on that tangent.
They don't even know what the fucking episode's about yet. We haven't even talked about the topic.
We barely have a topic.
That's true. So,
So, who's ready for about 45 minutes of us just saying and so?
Me? Always? I think.
That's about most of the time I hang out with you guys. Mostly saying and so.
Yeah.
whoa.
So this week...
I really want, maybe like episode 100 can be our one visual episode.
Holy fuck, that's quite a milestone.
If we make it there. I'm just saying.
The only thing that could keep us from making it there, really, I mean, I think we've got, 4 comments on the entire channel thus far. I think the only thing that can really stop us is us deciding not to do it
Yeah.
anymore. That's right.
Well,
Fuck you, people who aren't listening.
Specifically you, Dave.
Fucking Dave.
wait, I know a Dave. Don't call out Dave.
I know a lot of
He's
Daves.
cool.
I know a lot of Daves too, and I have no problem with calling out like 9 out of 10.
Okay, to be fair, Dave did hack my Facebook last summer.
What a cock.
Right?
Damn it. Unknown Dave number 3.
Him and Rose. I left my Facebook on the computer during tours. So they just logged in and my Facebook was on. And then they took a picture and then put it on Facebook while I was on tour.
Still haven't gotten to the topic, by the way.
So,
Yeah. At this point.
so the idea today was...
Shut up, Ryan. This is my Sqwadcast.
Yeah, bitch.
Most disorganized shit.
That's what makes us us.
That's why all 3 people tune in.
Yep.
And we're the 3 of them.
Oh, man. God, we're hilarious.
One of these days, someone will find this diamond in the rough somewhere in
Yeah.
YouTube and be like, wow.
Oh, shit.
Maybe someone
They
will
have
make a best of in about...
1,263 episodes? What the?
Maybe they'll make like a best of and it'll last like 5 minutes. Actually, no, the peanut butter velociraptor bit was about 8. So it'll be about 8.5 minutes.
So you have the Idris Elba scale
Yeah.
and the peanut butter velociraptors. You know what I also just remembered? We didn't say anything about Idris Elba in the last episode.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, we kind of suck.
God,
We'll make
damn
up for
it. We're sorry, people who listen to us. We need to come up with a name for you, audience.
So the luckiest situations.
I mean, wouldn't we just call them Squad?
I guess. I mean...
Squad cast members? Get it? Cast members? Squad.
Can we, like, get rid of him? I don't know. I feel like when we actually get people to listen to this, we can come up with a name for them. Or they'll come up with a name for themselves.
Yeah, okay.
It'll probably be Squad, you're right.
I mean,
You know.
And then we'll be the Squad cast members.
Yeah, we'd be the cast members. They wouldn't be the cast members.
whatever, dude.
Saying, if you're gonna make a pun, make it right.
If that was a pun, I think we all need to shoot ourselves in the head. It's pretty bad.
It's dark.
It's dark. I went there.
Speaking of shooting yourself in the head, I started watching Sense8 the other day. I don't know if you guys have seen any of it.
I saw the first season.
I saw it got canceled and then revived.
Eh.
It's kind of all over the place.
It's so all over the place. The fucking 8 storylines that are like commingling together. It's the ugh. Fucking.
And somehow
the
it's
storylines
still-
aren't even like interesting.
Yeah, not really.
They're not very compelling.
Like, I think like the very last like 2 episodes were the only ones where like everything started to tie together and was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
Yeah. I stopped after like the 4th episode. I'm done with that. I'm not gonna watch any more of it. Anyway, luckiest situations.
Yes.
Or some
So, the ground rules for this episode.
Ground rules.
Since when did we ever follow ground
I
rules?
think in 2 episodes I've established ground rules. Besides that, it's just been a free-for-all.
It's always a free for all.
Ground rules. We've probably always broken them though.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, to sound somewhat professional.
So ground rules.
Yep. It could be about actual history or our personal lives, and no holds barred.
So there's
There's
no
no rules.
rules.
It just has to be
There's no
things
rules.
that were lucky, that were actually things.
there's one rule.
Yep.
The one rule is that you can't make it up.
Yeah, you can't make it up. It
Okay.
either has to be a situation that you know of, like the 2 that will be mentioned, that I mentioned in our pre-production meeting.
Yeah, that's what we're going to call that.
Pre-production meeting.
Yeah, or something that has happened to you, or you were a witness to. If any of us were in a situation that we could have been in but weren't. Okay. So, the way the Patriots became good.
Oh my God. Oh, man.
Is extremely lucky.
You want to
Explain
expand on
how.
it? God. Did you see all this dead space? I don't want to have to like spend 3 hours editing just the audio.
Just keep it.
I don't want to have to drive in my car and listen to this and have like 45 seconds of dead noise. And I'm just like, is it still working? No.
Yeah, there's been a few times where there's been like 3 seconds of silence. And
3
I'm-
seconds is okay. 45, no.
Did my internet go
Close to
out? What happened?
45.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
the Patriots became one of those football teams we hear so much about.
Yes. Football teams.
American
American
football.
football teams for our one visitor in Guam.
Love you, Sammy.
Or any other international.
Still waiting on that
Fans.
animation of the peanut butter
Yes.
velociraptors.
Before you do anything else, do that.
I've actually been checking your page like almost daily, like waiting for it. Honestly.
She's got to go frame by frame by frame.
Hey, I mean, I get it.
Hey, man.
Take time.
She chose that life.
She just...
It didn't choose her.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm fucking
Patriots.
Excuse me.
Bill Belichick got fired from the Browns. Got hired by the Patriots. Tom Brady gets drafted. Second to last in the draft. He was the second string at Michigan for 3 of his 4 years there. So he wasn't really an established guy. And all the plays that led them to the Super Bowl wins, such as the kickoff out of bounds that the Panthers did in their first Super Bowl. I think that was their first Super Bowl. The tuck rule, the infamous tuck rule, that if it went the other way, the Raiders win that game. The shanked 27-yard field goal by Billy Cundiff a few years ago. Sorry, Ryan. And most of our fan base are probably Ravens fans.
And sorry,
Washington
Washington Redskins fans for that little bit of time.
Redskins fans.
Yeah. Cundiff
He was on the Ravens when that happened.
I know, but I'm saying like later.
Oh.
No,
The
so
Redskins
who cares
had
about-
it
we
for a
don't
little
need to
bit.
apologize to
about the
other
Redskins?
teams for what happened to Billy Cundiff when he was on the Ravens. I feel like Billy Cundiff should apologize to the other teams.
Yeah, let it
for
get
what
at us.
he did to them.
Yeah. Billy, go ahead, tweet at us or like leave a comment saying that you're sorry for the entire entire NFL league.
Yes.
Just in general, like even teams that you weren't part of.
It's like I'm sorry we were on the same turf, like ever.
I'm sorry I joined this sport. My bad.
Hey, you know what? I doubt he's sorry. He got paid. Ugh.
So all that ended up in this 15-year run of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick being together and winning 5 Super Bowls in 15 years. And they also got lucky that they're in the worst / second to worst division in football. Because the Jets have the second best record in that time frame, and they are 1 game above 500 since Tom Brady and Belichick.
You're
And
right. It's
for all
Miami.
you Patriot fans that argue, well, the Patriots are just that good. Nobody is that good. They got lucky that teams were that bad, so it inflates. Not that Brady isn't good, but
the bulk of every
everything-
season is he plays
Yeah.
2 games against the Jets, 2 games against the Dolphins, and 2 games against the.
and he'll go
Why can't I remember the other team in that division?
Dolphins,
No, I already said
Dolphins,
Jets,
Jets, and
Bills.
Bills, right?
Yeah,
Right.
and he'll go 4-2 will be bad. He's expected to go 6-0 every year, and that's 6 wins out of 16. So yeah, I think that's one of the luckiest situations in history. The way everything lined up for that to happen.
Yeah, just being an above-average football team in that division puts you in the playoffs every year.
And they usually get home field advantage every year because they already have that.
But
cushion.
then they've got. Well, I'll admit they've got pretty good coaching out of Belichick. They've got pretty
that's
good
what I'm saying.
quarterbacking out of Tom Brady.
I'm not saying they're bad and it's all luck. I want to clarify that. I'm just saying the fact that they got both of those. They got
Very, very, very well equipped to exploit the extremely lucky situation that they are in.
yes.
the planets aligned.
Pretty much. I mean, you got to think. Belichick was in the kind of situation where he got fired from the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
God, you don't. I think he's probably the only NFL coach to win a Super Bowl after bottoming out of a Cleveland organization. You know, like God damn.
I don't know what happened because I think that was in '99 he got fired. So I don't know exactly what happened to cause him to get fired, but he did. And 5 Super Bowls later, and
Cleveland
I think
is still kicking themselves.
14 divisions in 16 years. 14 division titles in 16 years.
And 25 years later, the Mets are still paying Bobby Bonilla $1.3 million or whatever. It's pretty lucky, too.
It's lucky for him.
Yeah.
Do you know about that situation?
He's fucking
No.
56.
That's a great situation. That's so funny. And that contract goes through like 2027 or something like that.
No, 25 years after 2011. So 36.
2036. Yep.
So wait, this guy...
So this guy, if I remember correctly, I might have to Google to get the details right. This guy, Bobby Bonilla, played on the Mets. Signed this huge deal.
Played on the Mets.
Well, he did. They couldn't sign him to a contract by
but
not playing. But then he didn't perform well, from what I remember. So they were like, hey, we'll pay you this amount of money to not pay for us. So every July 1st, he gets paid like $1.3 million. And that's 25 years after his contract expired, which was expired in 2011. He has not played...
No, his contract didn't end in 2011. They had court shit that was going, and they deferred payments until 2011. But he ended in 06
he hasn't
or
played
some shit. No, longer than that.
Since 05, 06.
So he couldn't be cut from the team or anything?
Yeah, like I said, we probably have to Google to find the details of it.
And even more interesting, fucking what's his name? Madoff, Bernie Madoff or whatever it is.
Yeah.
He fucking was the one who invested in the Mets and gave the money to this guy to not play for them, basically. It's so crazy because there was so much money coming in from the Mets and it was not sustainable. No one thought twice about it, and then they realized that there was basically embezzlement going on, and then Madoff got the fuck out. And then this whole Bobby Bonilla shit, or Bonilla.
Bonilla.
Bonilla? Yeah.
Bonilla, yeah.
Bonilla. That whole shit happened.
He's a baseball player. Of course he's Hispanic.
Wow.
Damn, dude.
It's not racist if it's true.
I don't
I
necessarily...
mean, Cal Ripken's not Mexican or Spanish.
Probably is.
Wow. Wow.
I've met the man. He is not.
He donated the new track at my work. There's a plaque that says he was at my school.
Now, this track, does it twist in the middle to form the number 8? Because that is absolutely something he would do.
Yes, for our student body, they made a circular track into an 8 just to honor Cal Ripken.
Well, I'm saying if he paid for it, he'd be the kind of guy to ask for it.
That's a lucky situation.
No, it's not.
I know.
Well, it could be. Cal Ripken playing over 2,000 games straight is pretty lucky. What is it, 21-31?
Yeah, something like that.
And he was 40?
Yeah, he debuted at 21, I think.
44, 45 when he retired or some shit? 46.
He was over 40. I don't think he was 46.
I think 44.
Unless you're
something
Jamie
like that.
Moore, I don't think anybody's played baseball past the age of 45. But that's pretty lucky, too. To be able to play for 23 years.
Jaromir Jagr, shout out.
Brett Favre.
That's what I was telling her. I know one day it was Brett Favre owns the longest active streak, or longest streak played. He's not active anymore. And comparing him, I think he ended at 298, and then Cal Ripken was 21-31, and it was the same span of time. I think Brett Favre started a little later, but just to show baseball and football.
That's insane.
I think Eli has the longest active streak,
He does. I know
but
that.
it's still 100 games short, I think,
Probably.
of Brett Favre's. Favre.
Apparently he wants to coach.
Brett Favre.
Not high school. That's what he's been doing. But I mean,
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he coaches his son's team.
I mean, good for him or
But
whatever.
are they
but
winning?
I don't know.
You play to win the game.
You play the Game of Thrones, you either win or you die.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is so bad.
This is so bad.
Oh my god. Oh.
So Hamilton.
Wow, these
Unless you
segues
guys
too.
want to add in something
No, dude, go
to
ahead.
break up my.
No, please.
Okay, I'm trying to recall the details of this particular story. The way this stuff came together was in such a weird fucking way. You look like you're trying really hard not to say something. Okay.
Honestly, sometimes I just make sounds or faces to get people to react, and I have nothing else to it. I just let people think stuff.
How's that working out for you?
Well, considering Ryan just thought I was going to say something when I had no intention of saying anything. Working out pretty
We're
well.
fucking trying to record. You're just trying to fuck with me at this point. Oh man.
So,
I'm just trying to think about this situation because this happened like 15 years ago. I was at summer camp, and I remember I was in this cabin. It was a camp. Fucking can't remember this name.
Camp fucking.
It's Camp Putak. That's the name. It was like a Native American frontier
Jesus.
theme. It was not fun.
That's like the worst name. Putak.
Yeah.
It's like puta and cock put together.
Right. Exactly that.
Bitch cock.
Now,
Going to
imagine
Camp Bitch Cock.
the entire population being middle school and early high school with like day visitors from like elementary school. Those kind of jokes were flying around all the time. It was not fun. It was not a good time. Everything sucked. And it was like in the deep woods, Pennsylvania. So you would wake up early enough in the morning, there were just snakes fucking everywhere. You walk out your building, you turn around, your wall is just covered in spiders. Like it was not fun. I remember one time, the way it works is like you have this door that closes, like your cabin douchebag you're supposed to answer to.
You're a cabin douchebag?
Yeah.
A communal douchebag.
What kind of camp was this?
The
Puta cock.
God. So, we were getting ready to go on this trip, and the counselor, there we go, I can finally fucking remember the name, camp counselor.
It's like the dude from Sonic? The big mushy orange mustache.
Dr. Egg, whatever.
Dr. Eggman?
Yes.
Why?
The goggles, and then his eye, and then the orange mustache.
Why are we talking about...
Because it's in my line of sight, that's why.
God
Is
damn
that
it.
his name, Dr. Eggman?
Well, when they Americanized the cartoon, I think they tried to change it to Robotnik, but nobody liked
Dr.
it.
Robotnik, yeah.
But then they changed it back to Eggman, because that's the way it was in Japan.
Okay, so...
So, we were going on this whitewater canoeing trip, and my camp counselor brought his smoking hot sister. And I remember, like, 3 or 4 of us were fighting over who would get to be in the canoe with his smoking hot sister. I can't even remember the name of. So we'll just call her SHS for smoking hot sister. So
Wow.
I can't really think of anything
All right.
better. So I remember me and this douchebag kid Shane. We were fighting over it. Never met a Shane I've liked for more than.
I don't
10
think
minutes.
I have either. I was about to say that same
I
shit.
met one in high school. He was a kind of weird kid, but he wasn't like... I didn't mind him.
I'll allow it.
Watch yourself, McCoy.
But I remember there were a whole bunch of us arguing over who would get to share the canoe with SHS. And eventually she got really she realized what was happening, got really confused, and was like, I don't want to pick one because they're all like 11 or 12.
Now, how old is she?
I think they were both in their like 20s.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so super awkward age gap.
Super
Gotcha.
awkward, right? And so her brother is just like, Shane, fuck it, like, and so we all get in the canoe, and I have to put up with Diego, who's my camp counselor, and it's his smoking hot sister in the other canoe with Shane. They're like 30 other kids, usually 3 to a canoe, but we're 2 because we have adult supervision. Hooray. Sure enough, about 10 minutes down the river, they run aground and sink their fucking canoe.
Nice.
They damn near
Shane?
break Shane and SHS. Almost sink the fucking canoe. There was
He did that shit on purpose.
Foot and a
I'll
half
give you mouth
long,
to mouth.
Foot and a half long gash through a steel canoe. Like, they had to fucking try for that shit. And so she jumps out, hops in the canoe with me.
Hey,
Nice.
soaking wet. No bra,
Absolutely.
white t-shirt.
Well, there was a life jacket. But,
Uh,
and then Shane tried to climb in, and we were like, nope, too many. And I pushed him off with my oar. Like, just oar to the chest, and just shoved him off and started paddling.
no one
and
said anything? Like,
Diego was like, Ryan, what the hell are you doing? And it's like, we got too many people. So another canoe swung over and picked him up. And we had to room together for the rest of that
nice.
2 weeks. So that was fun. But then the next day, he woke up with a wolf spider on his chest. So fuck him. There you go. That was the luckiest situation that ever happened.
What was the luck that she got in your canoe, or that he almost died from a wolf spider / you almost drowning him?
All of those.
Oh,
It was like combined, sort of, I guess, lucky things. She ended up in the canoe with me. Shane got paddled in the face. Shane sank his canoe. And he's a douchebag and had to deal with a giant fucking spider the size of my hand on his chest.
Huh.
So fuck him.
yeah,
He was
fuck
a
you,
douchebag.
Shane.
Fuck you, Shane. I don't even remember the rest of your name.
Diego's sister, if you're listening,
Hit me up.
or something.
I don't know. She's probably like 40 now, so.
Wow.
I mean, the age gap is still awkward. It's still like 15 years difference.
Yeah.
Nah.
Eh?
Could be like an Aston Kutcher, Demi Moore situation.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, it could be like that situation.
The patient just died. Do you see this?
And we revived him, okay?
Fucking flatline for like 20 seconds.
Oh my god. This is so rough. So, do you have one, please?
Everyone died.
Aww.
Okay, were both of you guys there?
I was definitely there.
You were definitely there. Were you there?
Yeah, were you there, Ryan?
I don't think I was.
That's oddly suspicious.
I'm sure. I'm the guy who set it all up. What are we talking about? Oh, yeah, no, Super Duper wasn't there. I remember hearing about it the next day, and you were super pissed off.
Yeah. Still kind of a little salty about this. So this was about a year ago. I'll use alternate names to protect identities.
Have we ever used alternate names?
SHS.
Only because he can't remember.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
I'm pretty sure our stories from last week and the week before. We just said
did.
every
Yeah, you're
name
right.
in the story.
Fucking Brad.
Look,
Yeah.
just for safety's sake, because they live around here, they work around here, and we don't want there to be any kind of craziness with the 3 other people who listen to this to suddenly judge this person. We'll call him Ethan.
Okay.
And his girlfriend, Christina.
Okay. So, as a lot of people probably don't, a lot of you guys don't know, we all used to work in a restaurant together, and we would frequently all come over and hang out at my place, like after we all got off of work.
Good times.
Now, a lot of the time, I would ask our like close group of friends from the restaurant,
the squad, if you will.
yeah, if they wanted to come over, and I would say it, and someone would, like, within our group would talk to another person within our group, like, hey, are you going over to Blake's later? Like, kind of quietly, but for some reason, everyone else that worked there had fucking hawk ears. Or bat ears or something.
You see, it's like the classic situation where you want to be part of something, but you don't realize you're not part of that. And then you find out. It makes sense in my head.
Alright, so...
Everybody thought that they were in squad. They were not.
Yeah, and not to say that I wasn't friendly with, like, almost the entirety of our staff at the time. But there were some people that I was closer with, and we hung out more frequently.
That happens everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
There were people that we all really enjoyed hanging out with. We all really liked. And then there was Ethan and Christina. And...
I do like the girl, Christina. I liked her. But, I mean...
Nah. She was kind of grumpy. Yeah. Always.
Okay. Well, I mean,
everybody had their own personal experiences. I never liked her.
I didn't really have too much of an issue with her.
Yeah. That's fair.
Her boyfriend, on the other hand, at the time.
At the time was
not. Mm-hmm. Actually, they weren't. No.
Yeah,
it was the other guy.
I think that's why they came, was because of her first boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who is actually a really cool guy.
Yeah. I like him.
I think we invited him, and then he told her, and then she told literally everyone else.
Yeah, pretty sure that's how that happened.
Actually,
we told someone that we.
I think I told Lyle. Lyle talked to Amanda. Someone overheard it, and then that shit spread like wildfire.
Yeah, those two people.
I miss them.
Me too.
I'm just saying they're both kind of. They can be loud.
They can, be.
Especially Amanda.
Yeah, I mean Lyle's pretty quiet unless he's drunk. Then he's really loud.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, he came into work drunk half the time, anyways.
I mean, let's be real. Yeah.
With his Lyle grin.
That Lyle grin. That absolutely Lyle fucking grin.
I know
when he's smiling like that, I need to like wave to the bartender. He's like, "Cap the tequila."
Okay, so anyway, I originally had invited about 6 to 8 people, right? Give or take. That was the average
work gathering. It wasn't like a party where it was like, everybody come over and rage. It was
like a lot of those rough nights we'd all like get together, like Friday, Saturday night or whatever, and then we just, hang back and chill. But on this particular night, everyone and their fucking mother decided they wanted to come over, and these people that weren't strictly invited started inviting their other friends, like, who some of them worked there, but it was like either a long time ago or they didn't work that day, but they're like inviting them later and shit. So I ended up having like, oh god, how many people? There was like
30 to 40.
It was that? No way. There's 30, no way.
30.
I was gonna say like 20, 25. Okay.
There was like 8,000 people.
There was too many people.
You could fill a small stadium with the amount of people that tried to fit in this one bedroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
A small, single-A minor league baseball stadium.
Yeah.
That's under construction.
A Smurf village. Anyway, so there was like 20, 25 people here or something. All of which, except for 2 or 3, were working there at the time. There was like...
I feel like 3 or 4, maybe 5 might have gotten invited who didn't work there or used to.
I think would have been used to. I feel like
it was all people that used to work there.
Yeah, 'cause
like,
I feel like
we all.
I feel like stories started that night. We were like venting about the job, and I feel like
Yeah. So anyway, there was some. And how do I say this without? There was some marijuana involved. Okay. But I guess I should kind of establish our group of friends, our close group of friends, all over 21, all of us. There was actually I don't think Amanda was at the time.
At the time, yeah.
But she was like a month away from being 21, or something like that.
Yeah. So it was all people of drinking age and Amanda, and there wasn't really like you had made a point up to this point of only inviting people who were over 21.
Right.
You didn't want to get in trouble about that shit. Like you were very concerned with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of these other people that weren't over 21 who, obviously were here, and they had brought alcohol and they were drinking too, on top of also bringing pot here, which I didn't know about, by the way. Which I have nothing against it, but like probably should have warned me about it. Anyway,
yeah, I've had that experience where I've had people over at parties back home, and people would be like, "Hey, you mind if I smoke in here?" I'm like, "No, go away."
Yeah.
Like either do it out. People literally went to their cars and smoked in their cars, and then came back inside.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't like the smell, and I don't want it in my house.
Yeah, and that's basically exactly the same thing with me. Like, I don't necessarily like mind the smell. I just don't like smelling it over and over again or anything like that. But anyway, they decided. They asked if they could like smoke in the house. I was like, absolutely fucking not. But I was like, you can go out on the balcony, I guess, right? So, what did we call him?
Ethan.
Ethan went outside with a couple of our other friends who smoke, right? And this was Ethan's first time smoking, ever. I'm pretty sure it was his first time drinking, too. And he was 18 at this time.
Jesus Christ.
So, he had, like, one drink, maybe, and then smoked outside with everyone. Then everyone came inside, and we were all having, like, a good time or whatever. And, there was music on, and all of us are kind of being, well, our group of friends was being kind of quiet. Everyone else was loud as shit. And mind you, I don't live in, like, a college apartment complex kind of thing. There's, like, actual families.
I mean,
everyone around here is family.
I know a few college people who live in this complex.
There's a couple of people.
Yeah.
It's not the majority.
It's an apartment
It's
complex.
not
I mean, there's going to be college kids. There's going to be families.
Yeah.
The main issue with college kids not being able to be here is, one, you can't get a co-signed lease or guarantor here, and you have to prove that you make over double what the rent is, at least. So a lot of college kids can't sign here because their parents would pay for their apartment and stuff like that. So anyway,
so Ethan's smoking and drinking both for the first time. Terrible idea to do at the same time, by the way.
First time.
Yeah, for the first
really,
time.
For
don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
That's a terrible fucking idea.
Yeah.
If you're going to do a new thing, try one new thing at a time.
I'm going to do heroin, cocaine, and crack all at the same time. And did.
Pretty much.
So everyone comes back inside. Like I said, we were all having like a good time, just kind of joking around, talking about the day or whatever. Or the work day. And Ethan's on the phone. He's like walking around. And Amanda goes up to him and is like joking. And he's like, "Oh, is that your mom?" Like, haha. Like, just joking. And he kind of like walks away. And at some point throughout the night, I don't remember exact like time frames or anything like that. Because like it was just kind of a normal night up until the shit hit the fan. But he asked for my apartment address. And I thought, like, either he's ordering a pizza or ordering food.
There was talk of pizza being ordered.
There was, yeah.
I do remember that.
And maybe he was calling his mom to have her come pick him up. I don't know what was going on. So I told him my address, like, assuming that he was just going to, order pizza or get picked up or whatever, because he's 18 and probably has a curfew or whatever the fuck 18-year-olds do. Anyway, so we're all shooting the shit still. And all of a sudden, about 10, 15 minutes later or something like that, the most cop knock I've ever heard in my entire life.
Cop knock.
I mean, you gotta understand, if you've got an apartment door, like do you see yours like a metal door? Or
mine's metal.
Yeah, you got a metal door, and
there's a little
cop
bit of
is gonna smack on that either with his flashlight or his nightstick, and it's gonna go boom, boom, boom.
Shit was loud as fuck, and like he did it over and over again, and then I was like, oh fuck, there's no way that this is. You know how like a lot of your friends will like knock on your door when there's a party going on, and just to kind of fuck with you and like make your heart sink, but it's, they're pretending they're cops, but they're actually not. It definitely wasn't that. Like, you could tell, like, there was some force behind it, and there was some other object that he hit the door with that wasn't a fist, right? So, I look to the people, and I see a fucking cop, and I'm shitting my pants. Because if you recall correctly, 90% of the people that are in this apartment at this moment are underage.
They're drinking, they're smoking.
Yep. And this is my apartment under my name and everything. Like, I'm fucked if they find out that anyone is drinking and then I gave them alcohol. I am so fucked. So, I open the door and he's like, this is like a 55, 60-year-old, like, dickhead cop. Like, the most quintessential bad cop, no donut kind of cop I've ever seen in my entire life. That's a subreddit, by the way. Bad cop, no donut. It's actually kind of hilarious. Whatever. So, he's like, we had a call for someone having a heart attack, and I see EMF, or not EMF, EMS?
EMTs?
EMTs. I thought they'd like changed their electronic media and film students walking
There's
up.
Just 20 EMF students raiding this apartment.
There's their overpriced DSLR cameras hanging around their necks. And they're all standing at odd angles trying to get good pictures of the stairway.
So there's two EMTs that are like heading up my stairs. One of them was like incredibly fat and was like dying on the stairs, which I found hilarious. But
because it's about 20 steps. You're not on a very high floor of a not very tall apartment complex.
I'm on the third floor, but it's not like...
Your entrance is on the halfway floor. So it's 5 stairs up to the second floor, and then 10 stairs up to the...
Yeah.
Or maybe 15, 20 stairs up to the third.
Yeah,
like
total.
If this guy is dying after 25... this woman is dying after 25 stairs, the defibrillator is for her at that point.
Yeah, and... I didn't laugh at the moment because, like, there's a super serious cop, like, staring at me. But she walks up and she's like, someone called about having a heart attack. I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, I didn't call you guys. I have no idea what you're talking about. And, I'm, like, standing in the doorway. I have, like, my arm against my propping open my door because it doesn't stay open by itself, and then I have my other arm on the other side of the door jam, so the cop can't just work his way in. Too. I mean, you can't really see anything.
Yeah, you're fortunate in that way. But,
because there's like
but you're basically positioning yourself so the police officer can't storm in and get you on probable cause.
Yeah, and which he can't do anyway, but we'll get to that anyway. So. What exactly? I don't remember what happened first. Well, he asks, he's like, are you guys smoking dope in here? And literal quote, okay? First of all, I fucking hate anyone who calls marijuana dope. What the fuck, dude? Like, if you want to, like, dope is some serious shit, right? Like, that's heroin. That's like methamphetamines. Like, that's dope to me, okay? But he's like, y'all smoking that dope in here? I'm like, no, sir. No one has smoked in my apartment, which is true. Technically, they smoked out on my balcony, so I wasn't lying. It's fudging the truth a little bit,
riding the line there.
Riding the line, but either way, they could have smoked outside and then come in here and then reeked of smoke, you know. So, well, anyway, I was like, no, sir, that I would not ever allow that in my apartment. I don't smoke, and I would never condone that behavior inside my apartment. I was like, if they have any pot on them, which they did, or if they had smoked and then come into my apartment, then that's on them. That's none of my business or anything like that. And while I was doing this, I get a tap on my shoulder, and Ethan is behind me and like goes underneath my arm, like, you know, fucking low bridge, and is like, oh, sorry, this is for me. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, why didn't you tell us that you were like having a heart attack or anything like that? Which he wasn't having a heart attack at all.
No,
he was just paranoid
freaking
as
the
shit.
fuck out.
Yeah, his heart was accelerating, but not nearly to that level.
Yeah, and he
Which
had
is
no
what
idea what to
happens.
do, and there was like 4 or 5 like potheads here that easily could have calmed him down, because like they know like their shit. They knew what they were doing, and they remember their first times or whatever. You know, like there was people that he could have talked to about this. And now I'm have to deal with this fucking cop, and he's like, get your ID for me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to shut the door and I'm going to get my ID for you, okay? I shut the door, and my ID is like right next to my door pretty much. It's, you know, like a couple feet from it. And as I'm getting my ID, he opens my door and walks inside my apartment. I never gave him consent to search my apartment, ever. Okay, there might have been like probable cause because it smelled like pot, but you still can't enter my entire apartment without a search warrant or anything like that. Because it's not a fucking vehicle. Like, probable cause is different. Like, even then they can't search it unless they have a dog or whatever. So he busts into my apartment with his flashlight on, and flashes his light in everyone's eyes that are like hanging out in my living room, and everyone's like fucking scattering basically. And
Scatter.
yeah, it's like if you accidentally disturbed like some mice with like a flashlight and they all just like scattered away or something like that. And he's like, everybody get the fuck out, like blah blah blah. And I was like, sir, you can't be in here, like I didn't consent. And he like walks out, and like everyone bolts at this point, right? Like everyone. I don't think there was anyone left here.
No,
no.
It was me, Amanda,
And Lyle. Yeah.
Because everybody left, but me and Amanda stayed on the couch. I don't know where Lyle was. Lyle was probably hiding somewhere. And
He's
everybody
probably
left.
asleep in your closet or something.
Yeah.
You know how he gets.
And
In the bathroom. What happened, guys?
Yeah.
What did I miss?
And he like, I remember like everybody went, so me and Amanda stayed back not to get caught up in this rush. And I remember the cop saying like, please get out. And I like reached for the closet because it was colder weather. And I like reached for the closet and like put my jacket like over, but I didn't zip it up. And like I handed Amanda's hers. And then he turned around and walked down the stairs, so me and Amanda just walked back in.
Yeah.
Like we were like, oh yeah, we're heading out.
Actually,
No.
I'm pretty sure. Are you sure that's what happened? I'm pretty sure I said like,
Yeah.
oh, because Lyle wasn't in the area, but you were, and I said, oh, she's my girlfriend or something like that. Like I'm pretty sure like I said
Maybe
something.
at some point Amanda was somebody's girlfriend.
No.
No,
Not like
'cause
actually my girlfriend,
he's
but I'm saying
telling
like
the cop that.
she stays here, like she lives here.
Oh.
I was trying to like, and I was
no,
like,
that's what I mean.
I'm pretty sure I said like, you're my brother and she's my girlfriend, and like we live here.
I wasn't paying attention besides my jacket.
Some shit like that. I don't remember exactly. I was trying to like get them to like ease off.
I just walked back in. Like the cop literally just turned around, and we walked back in.
Yeah.
And then it was the 4 of us for the next like hour.
Yeah. And so. And
Kelvin went Kevin.
Yeah. Oh.
He went full Kevin.
We'll get there in a second, I guess. So I go up to the door to shut the door once the cop leaves, and he's like, I don't want to ever have to come back here again. You don't want us to talk to your landlords. And like threw my ID at me. Like didn't hand it to me, like threw it at me and said, have a good night. Like in the most sarcastic tone I've ever heard in my entire life. This guy was a dick. Oh, and he also, let's back it up a little bit. When I said that no one was smoking dope in the thing, he's like, what do you think I am? Fucking retarded? I was like, oh, so we're going in this direction. Gotcha. So, obviously it wasn't PC. Probably would have called all of the black people that left here the N-word as they walked out and probably shot them all. Had Kelvin not gone full Kevin. Thank God. So, let's talk about that before I round out the story. The police cruiser or the ambulance, one of the two, was in front of Kelvin's car.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get out.
Blocking his car.
And you guys have heard Kelvin before on the.
If you've listened to the draft episode.
On the draft episode.
That's the only one.
That's what Kelvin sounds like normally, right? But instead of doing that voice, he went the most white Kevin persona that you have ever seen. He was like, excuse me, sir. Your police cruiser is
I think
in
he
front
said it
of
was the
my...
ambulance.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. I'm just trying to get home tonight. It's been a long night, and I just want to get home and get to sleep and get to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea when I might be able to get my vehicle out from behind your ambulance?
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, don't worry about it, son. They just rolled it right on out of the way.
Yeah, and he's like, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Y'all have a good night. Like, he was like super went Kevin on him. And you guys can't see what we're doing, but Kelvin does this thing with his hands when he serves, which we saw a lot of. Or when he goes full white,
gently
white mode.
cradle his open hand, but still kind of hold it to his chest. His thumbs would be
And-
up, and he just opens the hands back up.
Does
and
does
it's like the
kinda
most
like a little-
gentle gesture.
like a little Italian, like a little quick, put the hands out, then rest them back together, little nuzzle together, little
His thumbs
cupping,
gently kissing.
little cupping action, then out and cupping action, back out. So later that night, after I'm pretty sure you guys stayed that night because everyone had been drinking. I'm pretty sure you guys stayed. But I got a text message later from Ethan, and it had said it said like, oh man, I'm sorry about what happened tonight. I'm okay, whatever the fuck.
We were so worried.
Yeah, no, wasn't at all. But I was like, oh, dude, like being a nice guy, I was like, oh, I'm just glad you're okay. Everything's fine here. Because like at this time, like I was freaking out, by the way. Did not get arrested, did not get a citation, a warning for being loud and 2 o'clock in the morning, nothing. No, I have no idea how I got out of this. No idea. I should have been in handcuffs that night. 150% should have been in handcuffs. But I guess, white privilege or whatever. But he said, like, I'm sorry. I was like, oh, are you okay? Is everything cool? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine, man. I just had, like, my heart felt weird or my chest felt tight. And, so I called 911. And then he sent another text message after that. I didn't respond because I was like, oh, okay, well, fuck you. Because at this point, like, you're just being a dick. And he said, I thought they would call me when they were outside. Like, it was a fucking Uber. Like, are you serious? I thought they were going to call when they were outside. When has the cops or an EMT ever like called someone's phone like, "Hey man, we're outside, come on down." Never.
Oh, we think you're having a heart attack?
You're having a heart
Wait for you
attack.
to work your way out to us.
Yeah. Like, I could see if it was, like, one of those kind of apartment complexes where you have to, like, boop, to, like, get into the doors. You know, like, swipe your little cards or whatever before, like, the front doors open. Then they'd have to be like, oh, okay, well, you know, we need someone to come get us or whatever. Or they'll just break the glass, I guess, or whatever the door is. But, they're coming to you.
Landlord or something. Like, they put a call into the property manager or something to get somebody to bring it in.
Yeah, but I feel like once they got to, like, our old apartment, like, at UV, if they got there and then they were like, oh, fuck, I have no way of getting in here, I don't think they'd be able to, like, find the number of the property manager that quickly to have someone come down before someone died, you know? Yeah. I'm pretty sure they'd just break the glass and then deal with it later. Or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they all have little, like, universal boot keys. I don't know.
Universal boop keys.
Anyway, yeah, that was my lucky story. I don't know how the fuck I got out of that one. Literally have no idea. That was the one and only time that I've ever had a run-in with, like, the law to that extent, like, that seriously. Most other times it's just been like, you fucking kids, get off the road with your bicycles and skateboards, or, you know, put a fucking helmet on.
It actually reminds me of a party I went to that got busted at an apartment in Kenilworth. Well,
I had a couple parties get busted by. No, I don't think any of them were cops. That was the only time we ever got busted by a cop, like actual cop.
No, UV was. I think Halloween was an actual cop.
No, those were not actual. Oh no, yes, you're right.
Halloween was. I don't think
those
the first
were,
one
but they were shutting down every single party. They weren't going to like write everyone out.
They were literally patrolling UV.
Yeah.
Because UV.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Okay, so sorry to interrupt you, Ryan. Continue.
I'm trying to find the relevant picture for this.
That you guys won't be able to see, but we will.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of background here.
So I was working my first ever job, and there was this girl I was working with. She was like, "Hey, I invited a few people over for my birthday party." So I found the picture.
Okay.
So she was like, "Okay, so you should come. Like, hey Ryan, you should come over and hang out. It's gonna be my birthday. It should be pretty chill. I invited a few people over from work." And I think my roommate invited a couple people over too. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I was freshly turned 21 at that point. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to get in any trouble. I'm going to just fucking have a drink or two. And then I'm going to, like, hang out a little bit, see what's up, and just say hi to a few of my friends from work and roll out. You know, it's nothing. It's not going to be a big deal. Right?
Kind of like what we were planning on.
Exactly. I was like, yeah, it's going to be maybe like 10, 15 people. Like, it's not going to be
just trying to get into someone's canoe.
Yeah. Metaphorically.
Okay. So it's one of these Kenilworth apartments. It had like 2, maybe 3 bedrooms. Like, it was a big fucking apartment.
Is that where Hannah?
It was on Kenilworth, but no.
Actually, no. It was like a 2-bedroom.
And then
there's Towson Place, and then there's Kenilworth at Charles, and then Somerset Colonies is.
But it's.
I'm thinking about the one.
It was a pretty decently sized apartment. It had 2 bedrooms and a bathroom and a full kitchen that opened out into the main room that had a balcony, and then the front door kind of hooked around, or the entryway kind of hooked around to the front door, which opened out into the stairwell. We were on the 2nd floor. Yeah, 2nd floor, because I remember when I walked in, there was a piece of paper stuck to, or like taped to the balcony door that said, "Don't be like Chuck and jump off the balcony like last year and break your damn leg." And I was like, that's a remarkably good piece of advice. So sure enough, I roll in, and there must be 50 people in this fucking apartment. And I'm just like, okay, oh shit.
And I don't know any of these people.
I know none of these people, right? I roll in, and I'm just like, hey, I'm just looking for, we'll call her Sierra. I'm just looking for Sierra. And sure enough, she emerges from the mass of basic college white girls with her, with one of her friends.
Her protege.
Yeah, with one of her
This is
protege
my little.
basic white girls.
This is my little.
Yeah.
This is my gamma big, or whatever the fuck they said. It's your what?
But anyway, so they walk over to me, and she introduces her friend or whatever. She's like, "Oh, Mark's in the back, and Josh is on his way, and blah blah blah." I was like, "So there are more people coming to this thing." Jesus, the music is blasting so hard. The fucking doors and windows are vibrating from the fucking bass, right? And like, you should go back and say hi to Mark. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. So I go open the first room, and it's all black lights and shit like that. You know what's going down in that room.
Oh, yeah.
Close that door right up, right?
Purple haze! Oh.
Go into the next room, right? And I step in, I see Mark, I'm like, oh, hey, buddy, how you doing? And I close the door behind me, and I take one breath, and I can just, it's nothing, the air is nothing but the fibers of burned paper and ash. And I, like, my eyes just kind of scan across the room like, oh, God, okay. That's a bong, that's a joint, that's a joint, that's a joint, that's a bong, that's a bong, that's a bong. Oh, Jesus Christ. And this was
That's
like...
a vape. That's a bowl.
Like, holy shit. I didn't even know the words for half of the shit I saw on fire at that time walking into that room. The window was cracked open about 2 inches, and I'm just like, oh, hi, buddy. How are you? Like, oh, hey, Ryan. Did Sierra not tell you what was going on in this room? I was like, she sure fucking didn't. And sure enough, I'm like, I'm starting to feel like really tingly. I've never actually smoked pot, but being in this room for like the 5 minutes that I was in there, I still am not 100% certain I'm the same person that I was before I went in.
It's not a fucking LSD.
Dude, you need to understand how dense it was in that room. Like, I opened the door, it was like depressurizing a fucking airlock. Like a cloud, like, shot out of the room like it was out of a fucking cannon. Like,
Backdraft, like that movie Backdraft.
Like, I felt it. I feel like I could only describe it like a shotgun blast, like a fucking like gas cloud, pressurized fires out of the front of this door, and it wasn't even like a tight closing door or anything. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just how dense it was in that room.
Wow.
And again, they had like 3 or 4 bongs going and a bunch of joints free burning, like everything. They were rolling more. There was actually like a pile, like shrink wrapped, like this, one of these. There were 5 of these in a stack on the bed. Like, they were getting ready for a long night. And I'm not 100% certain everyone would have made it out alive. But goddamn. Right, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go talk to Sierra. I just wanted to pop my head in and say hi. And pretty much. Take a step out, walk back into the main room. Sierra's like, have some Jell-O shots. Like, and
actually, do you have any, like, Cheetos or, like, Chex Mix? I'm kind of hungry.
It wasn't that bad. Okay, but I mean, like, as a
okay.
person who'd never even been in a hot box before, like, I hadn't even been entirely aware that you could hotbox an entire room like that. I mean...
With a window open?
Like, that's the point, is you kind of have to vent it out a little bit from time to time, right? But, like, I'd never even heard of this concept. And I had just walked into that. And I was just like, sure. So I did a couple of Jell-O shots, because it was basically all they had. It was Jell-O shots,
basic white girl shit, I got it.
A bunch of weird shit, like way too many bottles of Fireball, and
it's too many bottles of Fireball.
But I mean, like, for 60 people, 40 of which were super basic white girls.
So yeah, no, dude, it's Fireball all day.
That's all Fireball.
All right,
Jell-O
girls,
shots,
line up.
and then
right
like 3 cases of like Natty Boh, Miller Lite, Natural Light.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those parties. I mean, everybody's having a good time, and then you get boom, 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 and this dead
Cop knock.
Yeah, that total cop knock, and just this dead silence fills the room. Like even the music fucking holds off for a second. Like,
and that's the thing. Like every time that we've ever had a party busted, or I've been in a party that has been busted, never in my life have I seen so many people at the same time become so quiet and coordinated to turn off every fucking thing that is making noise. Like TVs off, music off, that fucking dildo that's like underneath someone's pillow that you can barely hear, somehow, or vibrator, somehow also gets turned off at the same time. Like you hear this low humming off.
No, the
everything
music
at the same time, dead silence.
The music wasn't turned off. It happened to catch it on a pause for a second.
Oh.
And then like the bass started back up and you hear somebody, turn that shit the fuck off. Okay, everybody. Like these three dudes just started coordinating. Like, and they're like doing this harsh whisper, like, okay, everybody, like shut the fuck up. Alright? If you're underage, put your drinks on the fucking table and get in the fucking back right now.
Oh, that's
like,
the worst thing you can do. Hide from the cops.
Like, and
Be
I'm
part
just
of
like,
the crowd.
This sounds stupid. This is a bad choice. Like, okay, so you're going to take a bunch of minors and then you're going to force them into the room full of illicit substances. Solid choice. All right. So I'm just standing off in the corner. I'm just kind of watching this happen, right? And a couple other people kind of realize the stupid decisions that are being made.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you're underage, hand me your drink. Like, and then these two girls start freaking out. They're like, guys, okay, if you're underage, okay, get on the balcony. Like, and so like, okay, and jump off. Like, no, read the fucking paper. Don't be a Chuck. Don't break your goddamn leg. Don't be stupid. All right.
Floor? Like, how far of a drop was it?
Honestly, it was like a apartment complex, kind of similar to this one, where the balcony, like it's the second floor of the complex, but it's on the hill, you know. So you're going up like half a staircase.
Yeah, they all. I mean, right?
It's like half a staircase up into the apartment, but it's like an 18-20 foot drop off this balcony. Yeah. Like you're not.
I want to cross from the mini dealership in that area.
It was like on the Kenilworth apartments near Charles Street, and it was like maybe 3 or 4 blocks into the complex because it really winds.
So the one next to Ruxton Towers across the street. That's
I think so.
Kenilworth and Charles, right there.
Yeah, should have been. That sounds right. And I remember just everybody saying, "Oh, if you're a minor, do this. If you're underage, do that." Like, and everybody's just like, "No, if there are minors here, we're all in fucking trouble."
Yeah.
Like, everybody just be fucking quiet, do what the cops say, and like,
be cool, man. Be cool.
Yeah, more or less. Just calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
For one, like if you keep saying if you're underage, the cops are going to be able to fucking hear you.
Yeah.
Like,
they have ears.
And
probably.
Also, you're right next to the fucking university. They know there's underage people in there. Like,
they're not fucking idiots.
Like, Jesus Christ. But I remember, what I believe had happened was I don't know if they were real cops. I think it was just like security for the complex. Like, and apparently, like, the knocking wasn't the cop on the apartment door. That was someone from outside who saw security coming and was giving us a heads up. So the person who lived in the apartment, Sierra, went out and headed them off at the pass like a goddamn superhero, right? And was like, hey, I just broke this party up at my apartment. We're kicking everybody out right now. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, and they're like, is that pot? There's this fucking steam cloud rolling out of the back window of her apartment. Like, that's not us.
That's not my apartment. I don't.
You're gonna have to go to that apartment across the way. They're kind of weirdly stacked. Like, we're security for this apartment. We know what they all look like inside. And like, well, that's not us, and we didn't have anybody bring in pot. So sure enough, someone texts a guy. So a dude rolls up around the front of the apartment near the balcony, right? The door's around the back, right? Rolls around the front, and performs this miraculous train of dumping the evidence. The craziest thing I think I've ever fucking seen.
So they were up front.
They, like, security was around back, right?
Okay, so
just the one dude. This dude rolls up with a pickup truck, right? And backs up to the bottom of the balcony. And people just start throwing all the drugs into the back of the pickup truck. And just, I've never fucking seen anything like this in my life before or since. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking get the hell out of here before, like, a fucking narco bust rolls in. Like, they're fucking throwing glass bombs 20 feet into the bed of a pickup truck. Like,
what the fuck?
I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? And I'm just like, I'm sipping a beer. I'm just like, whatever. I'm 21. I'm not going to get a... They're not going to be like, oh, you've got to throw that down right now. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to finish my goddamn beer. Like, what the fuck? And then someone tried to jump off the balcony into the pickup truck, and someone grabbed them as they started to make their move.
Oh my god.
Like, the best part of this party was when the security dude rolled up. He wasn't even a real fucking cop. Like, he could have gotten some people into some trouble, but just everybody's running, like, through this apartment, like, dude, stash this, hide that. Like, oh my god, calm the fuck down. Like, and I remember my buddy Josh, like, rolled in at that exact time, right? And the security guy is turning and walking away. He tells her, must be the chillest security guard in the world. He's like, I'm coming back in an hour. If I hear anything, I'm coming in. Mm-hmm. And, like, turns around, Josh walks up right to the security guard. The security guy's like, no, just leave. And he's like, okay. And walks away. And I see him in the parking lot walking away. I'm like, I lean out on the balcony like, yo, Josh, what's up? And he's like, nope. And he just fucking bolts. I'm just like, okay, goddamn. And yeah. And I remember I just stayed there. People just started running out of the apartment. And I'm just like, whatever, okay. And I just waited, had another drink, and just sat and talked to them for a hot minute.
So what happened with the pickup truck? Like,
they fucking I can't believe I fucking skipped over that part. So they're like hurling all their shit, like they throw the 5 shrink-wrapped blocks of weed that they had in the hotbox room. All of that goes into the truck, right? There were little baggies of pills. All of that goes into the truck. Like, dude, that's what that fucking black light room was. That was for the hard shit, dude. Like, well, I guess the really light shit. But anyway, like, I was like, this party is fucking weird. Like, and I don't understand. It's like a lost and found system later on. Like, oh, I had that bag. Like,
lost and found.
No, that was probably one dude being real enterprising and just being like, throw it all in my truck. Because, of course, he fucking peeled out, turfed the fucking lawn, like, and rolled out of that apartment complex. I'm pretty sure nobody ever fucking heard from him again. He probably made like 20 fucking grand.
Yeah. For real, though. Like, that's a lot of fucking...
He was in cahoots with the security guard. That's
drugs.
What it was.
That fucking could have been.
It could have been the entire time.
It could have been like a fake prop siren somebody stuck on top of their car, and their and he was wearing a fucking uniform security. Like,
that's my friend's new puppy.
Doll.
Anyway, so.
So is it weird that for the last 10 minutes I completely forgot we were actually podcasting?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. That was great.
But it's just such a weird party. Because I can't say, like, anything I did was particularly crazy. Like, I sat in the corner and just watched people do all this dumb shit that was, like, way too much. Just, why? Why did all of these things just happen? Like...
Well, I mean, you got lucky.
Yeah, I guess I did. Like, damn. Ugh.
I got a really lucky one.
Okay.
Not nearly to the extent of what just happened.
Was I part of this?
You were sleeping on the floor it happened on.
The look on Blake's face is like this profound sense of alarm, and now it's kind of washing into confusion.
When did I
think about
sleep on the floor?
No, not like that literal floor. The floor we lived on.
Oh.
So this was back when you were the RA
Yeah.
on his floor then.
Yeah. Not
Okay.
the literal floor.
I was like, when did I sleep on the floor? All I could think of was like when we went to Ocean City and that hot mess of a night. But
I
slept in the bed.
remember the time when you were curled around the toilet. I remember that time.
Yeah, I fucking remember that time too. Well, actually, I don't remember that time.
I think you remember the day after when you tried to crawl into that broken egg chair and that collapsed.
That was in the middle of the night, dude.
Yeah, I remember. I was sleeping in your bed.
I know. I literally like walked in there. I was like, "That looks like a good place to
This seems
crash."
like a solid choice.
And
And
obviously, none of you guys know. Well, I mean, unless you've actually been inside my apartment and like know me personally, but like I have this like broken chair that's in the corner of my room, which I really need to replace. But like, it's just kind of there. No one sits in it actually, but
well, not anymore.
not anymore. Yeah. People sat in it a lot, and that's why it's broken. But
And one particular friend named Robbie sat in it a lot.
we love you, Robbie.
God, love Robbie.
So I just crashed in there and like sank literally to the floor and like pulled the blanket that's on top of it over me and was like, "This is fine," and slept the entire rest of the night. I have no idea. Oh, dude, I was miserable the next day. Miserable.
Yeah,
So-
you were pretty gone.
Yeah.
So,
was
yeah,
Peaches.
Yeah. This was the second week of school, I think, with the roommate that was mentioned in the previous
Zach.
podcast. Yeah. It was our second week, so it was before you got to like know your friends, basically. And he was like, "Hey, I invited a couple girls from my class. Hey, I invited a couple girls over."
There you go.
Just picture, I can't do that voice the entire time, so every time Zach says something, imagine that. He's like, "Hey, I invited a couple girls over," like, just kind of a chill thing, and I was like, okay, like, girls, that's fine, you know. So, I'm actually still friends with the girls he invited, and he's not, which I think is really funny, but anyway.
Also, very telling of Zach's character.
Yes. So he invited them over, and there was two of us and one of his friends came. It was me, Zach, and then his one friend. We were just chilling a little bit before the girls came over, and then 3 girls came over, and we were chilling in our room. And then one of the girls was like, "Hey, like one of my friends wants to come over too," and we're like, "Okay, one more person isn't that bad." We walked over to their building, which was across the way, and we get the one girl, but then 2 more guys come with them, and we're like, we don't know who this person is, but I was the one picking them up because Zach stayed with the 2 other girls, and we went. I was like, okay, let's just go back in. At a certain point, it was fairly good. It ended up being just us until the one dude got really drunk, who I don't know the name of, and threatened Zach, and Zach, being confident but not the biggest dude,
Oh, I remember this.
yeah, threw a punch at him. I tried to calm everybody down because it was also my room that this was happening in. I was like, "Hey, like, he's drunk, let him stay the night, let the girls go home, let the other guy who is also here go home." And Zach's like, "No, he's not staying on my floor, blah, blah, blah." He like disrespected me. I was like, "Just let him stay and we won't get in trouble, we'll deal with it in the morning." He's like, "No, like, kick him out." And I was like, there's no way I'm gonna solve this problem. Right. So the guy, the fight broke out. Cops were called. I escorted the girls back to their building. So when the cops showed up, I was in the building across the way when this happened. Right. So I just walked back in the building, nonchalant, like I have no idea what's going on. And I go into the elevator and I press my floor. And the cop says, "Hey, can you hold that?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, sure." He goes, "Oh, I'm also going to that floor." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I'm in the elevator with the cop, and he's like...
I can only imagine the sense of dread sitting in your chest as you're going up the elevator.
Yeah.
with this cop that is almost certainly going to your room.
Oh, he's absolutely going to my room.
Ding!
However...
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. However...
Okay, so...
The way the building's laid up, you know, it's kind of...
It's like an L.
Yeah, it's like an L. So I lived... If you're walking on the elevator, I lived on the left side. But then there's also a hallway to the right side. Right? So the elevator opens up, and I was like, okay, have a good night, and walked the opposite way. Sat in the quiet lounge for a little while, because I was just like, I don't know what to do. I can't go back to my room. This is also 3 a.m, so I can't knock on a friend's door or anything. I'm just sitting in the quiet lounge.
And also, he couldn't come and knock on my door because I, lived 2 doors down from him, basically.
And it's also 3 a.m.
Yeah, also that, too.
If you were the on-call one, yeah, but you weren't on call that night.
Yeah.
And like I said, this was also the second week, so I didn't really know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I was sitting in the quiet lounge, just chilling. I wait about, 45 minutes or so, just kind of on my phone, just derping. Right? I walked back to down the hallway, right? And my room's quiet, so I walk in, taking a big risk because the cops could still be there. But I was like, right? Go in. Zach's fast asleep. Everything is cleaned up because we had drinks and stuff. Everything is cleaned up. Right? I go to bed, wake up. Zach gets in trouble. The other dude, I found out, tried to resist arrest and threw a punch at the cop, and he got arrested on the spot. He tried to drunkenly run away, got arrested, and he was in jail.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
And meanwhile,
Christ.
I shared an elevator with the cop, and I was like,
You need to understand, making that right turn probably saved your ass.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Because I remember the fallout after it. I had to document a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, everything because we did have too many people in the room, confession. There was I signed people in and Zach signed people in, and there was the fight afterwards and Well, Zach also made a rookie mistake. He tried to go to his friends on the 2nd floor. We were on the 4th floor. But he brought a case of beer out of the room with him.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's what got him in trouble.
Yeah, because I think he was going down the stairs, thinking the cop went down the elevator. He'll go down the stairs, but then I think the RA caught him on duty.
Yeah,
whoever it was doing rounds, and it was like, you can't have a case of beer.
By the way,
if he didn't have that beer, he would have been fine. But he had the case of beer, and then
was he over 21? No.
Yeah, he just turned 20.
Yeah,
2 weeks before school started.
Yeah. Because you were able to have beer if you were over 21.
Yeah, but if I remember, the rule was you could only have it, the bottles open or cans or whatever, could only match the people who were 21. If there was 2 people, you could have 2 bottles.
Yeah.
We had a lot
and you
more.
can only have a certain amount total.
Yeah,
it was a 6-pack or a fifth.
Yeah,
or something.
But we had
Way
a
more
lot
than that.
more. Yeah, we had a lot more than that.
What a fucking idiot, though. Walk down the fucking
But
stairs
then,
with a case of beer underage in a dorm.
That was funny, too, because spring semester, he just went home every weekend. He got busted a couple times after that, and he was just like, parties aren't fun. I'm like, you're an idiot.
You go to the worst parties.
Yeah, you act stupid. Yeah, but making that right turn when the cop was like, hey, I'm also going to that floor. I was like, Yep. Yeah.
What a funny coincidence that I know nothing about.
Yeah. I was like, oh, no way. I live on this side.
Bye.
What's your name? Oh. Frank.
Yeah.
Because everyone had their name on the front door.
I'm Morgan? That's a girl's name. Claire? I'm the RA, Lexi.
Shoutouts to all those people, kind of.
Yeah, they weren't involved in the story in any way. They just lived on the same floor.
Yeah, it's their fault for putting their names on their doors like idiots.
Well,
right? What kind of person puts names on the doors?
Goons.
Don't look at me.
RAs.
Yeah, we had to. Had to put name tags on everyone's doors.
I know. I've been in a dorm before.
Okay, just making sure you knew.
They all do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my I forgot that story existed until Ryan's story for some reason triggered my.
Did we have any other?
I had one involving my
close
brother.
calls?
It was my brother's account. I wasn't there when it happened, and it also involved the balcony.
Oh man. I think I have something. I kind of need to put it together in my head for a minute. So tell your thing.
Okay. So my brother lived. This was a college back in basically my hometown. So not the college we were previously talking about. And similar, though, it was a college dorm place, and it had balconies, like a college apartment where like the entire complex was students, type of deal. And it was my brother and 2 roommates that lived there, and they had a party like they did most weekends because my brother's that type of person, and it got busted and it was filled with people. There was no way out. They're on the 3rd floor, like there was no way out of it, right? So like they couldn't go anywhere because my brother opened the door kind of not in the right state of mind, and he didn't put the knock together that it was a cop knock. He just thought, oh, people are coming because we're having a party. And he opens the door and the cop is like, hey, is this your place? And my brother's like, no, give me 1 second, I'll look for whose it is. So he does a lap around the crowd, right? Obviously doesn't get the actual, like, his roommates or him. He comes back, he's like, hey, I couldn't find him. He's like, okay, you're free to go, but we're going to look for someone to go with. So I was like, all right. Walks across the street to his friend's apartment and just chills. And he's viewing it was on the 3rd floor of the other building. So he's on the balcony of his friend's apartment watching the scene go down in his apartment.
Oh my God.
On the balcony. Yeah, he said he saw 2 people jump off the balcony trying to escape the cops. And more people just running around. And he's just sitting across the street on his friend's balcony watching it all go down.
That's hilarious. I never thought about I instinctively would have been like, yeah, this is my place.
Yeah.
I would have never been like, oh, no, let me go see if I can find him for you.
Yeah, my brother pulled that out of his ass.
Every time that we've had a party busted, I've always answered the door. Have you noticed that? Both times at UV.
UV was definitely one night was me. Because my name got it. I think it was the second party.
I talked to the cop, like the actual cops on Halloween.
Yeah, I think it was our second party.
I talked to those 2 like security guard dudes.
Unless they came back later on, because it was after the party dwindled. And
maybe you talked to the cop.
I think maybe the actual cop, yeah, because he like knocked. And this was when everybody left, so I didn't think everything. But we still had a few like
stragglers.
Yeah, stragglers. And they were like, you're not allowed more than 10 people in here. And I was like, well, there's only like 6 of us here. Like, this was after. He's like, okay, but like, just to make sure. And then he's like, can I have your name? And I definitely talked to a guy. And then I tried to tell Eric to go to bed. Because he started to make food. And I think Brad was there.
Fucking
and
Brad.
A few other people. And I'm just like, go to bed. It's like 2:30 in the morning. like, party got busted. Nobody's coming back. Either leave or go to bed. Because we're going to bed.
Fucking Brad.
So I have a brother's account story.
Oh. Okay.
So he and his friends in high school were not the actually I will say they were one of the brighter bunches, but they were still dumbasses.
Nah.
So the smartest of the dumb people.
Pretty much. They were the guys who would start all kinds of dumb trouble, even though they were all in like AP physics classes and shit like that. Like
smart dumb shit.
Pretty much. Like, oh yeah, we'll ace this test, and then we're gonna fire a potato cannon into the classroom later. True story.
That's for another day.
Yeah. Well, for this one, it involves leftover fireworks, a porta potty, and way too many cases of beer.
Oh yeah, like any good story.
Like any good story. It starts in one of my brother's friends' basements, and those aforementioned way too many cases of beer.
Mm-hmm.
So there's about 12 of them, and they're raging. And it's, I think it's like October or November at this point, right? And at my house, we had this box of fireworks that was given to us after July because someone just didn't use them, and we didn't know why, but it was a fucking huge box.
Mm-hmm.
Like, must have been like $300-400 worth of fireworks. Like, someone was planning a show and it did not happen. And so my brother took them with him when he went over to this thing, and I have no idea what the hell he was originally planning, but they're drinking and they're drinking and they're drinking, and they're like, hey, let's get out of here before my parents get pissed off at us being so loud and dumb. And it's like 5 p.m. Alright? So they're rolling along. It's a Saturday. There's a big stretch of woods with like a trail like going through them, and like it's like a state park or something. Like right like 3 blocks of houses away. And they're carrying this crate of fireworks down into the woods, and there's a couple cases of beer in the box with the fireworks at this point, because it's a pretty extra big box. Mm-hmm. And so they smuggled some beer along, and so they're trying to, high school subtly drink these beers while they're walking down the street. You know, the way kids do, like their shoulders are hunched down, they take like a little sip and they stuff it back in the box. You know how they do. Mm-hmm. And they get into the woods and they break into a run for some reason. Oh. No one was following them. No one cared. It was 5 p.m. on a Saturday. People had better shit to do. Right? They get into the woods. They start breaking into a trot. It's starting to be like sundown. Like, not quite. So the sun's still up a little bit. But it's starting to do the colors changing in the sky, You've got about an hour of daylight left. They get into the woods, right? And they're like, what are we going to do with these fireworks? What are we going to do with these fireworks, man? We got to do something. Like, and this is my brother's mocking of his friends being total fucking morons. Like, we got to do something, man. They come across this porta potty, and the look on his friend, we'll call him Dan's face. The look on Dan's face, John said it was like a religious revelation of seeing this. Like, the sky, like the clouds parted in the sky, and that one lone golden ray of sunshine on this porta potty. And like, we've got to do it. It's a sign. And so they break open the box and they start just pushing fireworks into the porta potty. They bundle all the fuses together and extend them, and they like roll it out. They light it up and they run away, and they look and they turn, and they've got the door closed, and they managed to finagle it in such a way they locked it from the outside, right?
Stupid smart.
Yeah. These are smart morons, right? Yeah. So, and one of them's got a backpack for whatever reason. So they start like putting the beers in his backpack. They're like, hey, he's got duct tape for some reason, right? So they just try and duct tape the door closed or whatever, right? And then they see the light from the fuse is like going in, and they're like, okay. They start running, they turn around, and you just hear boom, right? And all the walls just start denting out. Boom, 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 boom. And the steel pipes that stick out the top, right? They said purple smoke and sparks started shooting out of this porta potty. And not like a little bit, like 10, 20 feet in the air these sparks are going. A Roman candle managed to fire its way out of the roof and just go
straight up into the air.
And then they realized they had fucked up.
It was at that moment they realized they fucked up.
Exactly. Thank you. So they start running. They hear a fucking fire engine, right? So they're like, oh shit, cops, right? Because, how every fire engine is also cops. And they're booking it. And then the person, they're running back to the first house, right? And they're like, oh shit, we can't, and this kid's like, we can't go straight back? That's suspicious. And they're like, what? And they're like, it's suspicious. If we run straight back, if someone sees us, they'll know exactly who we are. Like, okay, sort of makes sense. All right, so they run into some random person's backyard. It's a whole bunch of fenced-in backyards. So they start hopping fences and really making a big deal out of it, right? And then this guy, Dan, was getting ready to join the Marines that summer, right? And so he's like, I can't get caught doing shit like this, man. I can't get caught, man. I'll get kicked out of the Marines. Like, oh my god. So they eventually, 4 or 5 of them. You need to understand, this Dan guy was like 6'6" and massive, like even for 6'6". Like, we had him on a trampoline one time, and his shoulders touched the ground.
Wow.
Like, this man was impressively large. So 7 or 8 of these guys just basically tackle him and get, we'll call this other guy Mike. They get into his backpack and get the duct tape. And they just start duct taping Dan's mouth shut, right? Because, again, they're still drunk. Like, they're trying to operate at a high level while drunk off their asses and fleeing a crime scene. So, they turn around and they look, and you just see this plume of red and purple over the woods.
Oh
and,
my god. And
the fire truck rolls around and is like going down the exact street that they're on, right? They're like all pressed up against the back of this house, and there's this old man like, "You dumb motherfuckers, get off my yard!" Like, and they're like, and Dan whips his head around with this like loose strand of duct tape off to the right side, and just like assuming like, "I'm sorry," and tries to jump the next fence, and again is massive and drunk, and just takes out the fence. Like, a 3-foot wide section of fence just goes down, and then he rips the duct tape off, and he goes, "Oh, scatter!" And they just all fucking go every direction they possibly fucking can. They're all over the place. And then one of them's like, "Meet back at Alex's!" Like, like, "Oh no!" Like, and they're all running all over the neighborhood. By that point, the cops are called, right?
Right.
And sure enough, this guy, what did I say his name was? Mike?
Mike.
Yeah.
Got
So,
Mike and Dan so far.
we got Mike and Dan and my brother John, right? And Mike did not realize that there were some more fireworks in his backpack, right? So he was like, "I'll set a diversion."
Oh no. Oh god.
And like sets shit up in his backyard and starts. I think he actually had a fucking mortar. Like, so he's just like, "Boom, boom, boom," over this residential neighborhood in fucking November. Like, it's not July or anything. Like, why do these kids have explosives? And sure enough, like, they all get out of it more or less, but somehow,
More or less.
like, of course, Alex's parents find out what the hell is going on, and he gets sent off to military school. But I don't know if you can do that to a 16-year-old anymore. I don't know, but he got in big trouble. But Dan ended up getting into the Marines just fine. But Mike, he did not get back to Alex's house. They didn't hear from him for 3 days. He somehow...
Nice. He went ghost protocol. That's how you really do it, man.
Here's the thing. He lived...
Don't contact me.
He lived on the street I've lived on for my entire life. He lives like 8 houses down from me. We didn't hear from him or see him for 3 days. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I got home that day just fine." Like, how? They were miles away.
Oh,
But
jeez.
he's like, "I'll set a diversion." What the fuck? You're gonna start shelling the neighborhood? Like,
Jeez.
but apparently, John said when he got back to the house, 3 guys were carrying Dan because he had started more trouble, and they had duct taped his hands together and his mouth shut again.
Oh, jeez. Come on, Dan.
He had no chill. So, that was, that's the fireworks story.
Fireworks. Well, I have one more in mind that also involves fire.
Yeah, that should probably close us out, I think.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we're at 140 right now. So.
I mean, I think we can cut the first 40 out. Let's be honest. We can cut the first 40 minutes of Sqwadcast out.
Probably could. But let's round it out with your story.
So this was junior year of high school. It involved 3 people. It was me, my friend in my grade, who I've been friends with for a little while, like since elementary school. We were both in band together. And then his friend, who I didn't like, but I also didn't have the nerve to say I didn't like him. So he was kind of there at all times.
Yeah, we've all had that person in our circle of friends at some point or another.
Yeah. So the 3 of us, and this kid, call him Cody, because that's his name. And he was a little bit of a pyromaniac.
I'm not gonna lie, I've not concealed any names except for Mike. Mike is a name I made up. Every other name I've used in these stories has been the actual name.
Wow. Whoops.
So Cody, because that's his name.
Yeah. And my friend is Joey. And I have not had contact with these 2 people since we graduated high school. Cody is a year younger, but still. So we go into, we were hanging out after school one day. It was the night of our band concert. And it was me and Joey usually just hung out after school because we were both walking distance. So instead of going home, we just kind of fooled around for a little while.
That's the sound of their balls touching. Slapping together.
Continue.
So there's one day.
So that you stopped slapping balls.
Yeah. We see, now because of that joke,
We have broken him.
This story is ruined.
So was your orgasm.
Oh.
What? So this story, you and Cody and the other one,
Joey.
there we go. You're fooling around after school.
Ball slapping sex. Lived close to the school. Something about fire.
So.
Yeah, I haven't even gone to the fire yet. Anyway.
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah. So, the way the high school is set up, the band room / choir room / auditorium are off in their own little hallway. And then you go down that hallway, and then there are bathrooms for that part of the school.
Sounds kind of like my high school, actually.
Excluding the band kids, putting them in their own area.
Yeah. I think that was pretty much every high school.
Yeah. So,
I think it's just to protect the rest of the school from all the fucking noise.
Yeah. Definitely that. Anyway.
Yeah. So, being immature high schoolers at the time, Cody one day showed up with me and Joey, and he was like, "Hey guys, look what I got!" And it's a lighter, and we were like, "Oh, yeah!"
Whoa, how'd you get that, dude?
Oh man, did you spend $1 at 7-Eleven? Oh man, you're so hardcore.
Yep. So I was headed to the bathroom to go to the bathroom.
As one usually does at a bathroom.
Right, that's
but
usually
Cody
how that works.
Had the idea. He was like, "Hey, let's light stuff on fire in the bathroom because there's no cameras in the bathroom, and we won't ever
sure
get
as
caught."
shit, smoke detectors.
Yeah. And there's also cameras outside of the bathroom.
Yes. Well.
Oh.
That's gonna come into play later. So, we were in the bathroom. Right, Cody
ball slapping sex. Gotcha.
As always.
Uh-huh.
We had to use the handicap stall because there's 3 of us now.
Yeah.
And so Cody takes a piece of toilet paper, lights it on fire, and you're like, "Oh, fire!" Right. And then I had the bright idea to light the entire roll of toilet paper on fire. So I rolled a little bit out because I actually wanted to see it go. I didn't want
Like a fuse.
Yeah, kind of like a fuse. Right? And so I rolled it down, light the one thing, and then it actually like goes a lot faster than I expected. I was expecting,
it's fucking one ply.
yeah, I was expecting like somewhat slow burn, and then we could like put it out.
No, that shit's flash paper. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
So he did that, and it just, and I was like, run! So I pushed Cody and Joey out in front of me, and we run out of the bathroom, right? And then we kind of take refuge in the band room because there wasn't band that day, right? We kind of took refuge in there, caught our breaths, right? Me and Joey decided to walk back to my house. You can cut through the high school fields, like the football practice fields and stuff, to get to my house. So we did that. But then Cody was like, okay, I'm just going to like chill here and wait for my parents to pick me up. As we're walking out, Cody comes out and catches our attention. He's like, hey, like, what time do we have to be at the concert? Because the concert's that night. Right? That, like a legitimate question. And I think it was like we had to be there at 7 or something. So he was like, okay, I'll see you guys there. So go home. Next day, I'm sitting in geometry, right? And get a call from the vice principal. And the teacher's like, Tim, you need to go to the vice principal. I'm not one to go to the vice principal a lot. So the teacher was very caught off guard. And I was like, okay. This was a Friday. Yeah. And so I went down. I was like, I don't know what this could be. Maybe like some attendance thing or like something.
You knew exactly what it was,
well,
Tim.
No, I honestly didn't because I like.
He blanked.
Yeah, I blanked on it. You know, when you think of everything.
How
but
could
the
they
thing
possibly find out?
you
There weren't any cameras in the exact spot I was standing.
So I sit down in the vice principal's office, and he's like, so, what were you doing yesterday after school? And I was like, I hung out with a couple of my friends, and then I had the band concert. And he's like, is that all you did? I was like...
No, ball slapping sex. I forgot to add that. Sorry.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. And it's the principal or vice principal behind his desk, and then, like, our, like, school cop, like, behind him in the corner. He's like... And the cop goes, so the janitor reported a fire in the bathroom. I was like, oh, shit. But I didn't
That's
crack.
also usually in the bathroom.
Yeah. I didn't gag, and I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that's not suspicious or response at all.
That's strange.
Yeah.
I have no idea who to, like, when you start giving too much information, like... Or, like, when a teacher asks you, like, where your homework was, and you, like, rifle through your bag knowing it's not there,
Right.
but you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know where it was. I put it right here. It's like, obviously, we know you're lying.
And the vice principal was like, are you sure? And he pulls out, like, terrible resolution security cameras, like, blurry, and there's 3 of them, and there was a camera facing the bathroom that was about halfway down that hallway to the band room. So all 3 of us are on camera. It's Cody, then Joey, then me. Right? And he's like, you came running out of the bathroom yesterday. So I said I was peeing on the urinal, like a guy does. Joey and Cody went into the stall and then ran out. I saw the fire after they ran out and ran after and ran out.
Rat!
Right? Yeah.
Sorry, Joey, and
Yeah.
whatever you're Cody.
So I ran, yeah, and then he's like, okay, so you didn't do it. You were just there when it happened. I was like, yeah, I didn't know what was going on. I was facing the urinal when this all went down, right? He's like, okay, you can go. I was like,
Oh, your boys probably sold you right out, didn't they?
well, they almost did. Right. Because apparently the cameras also caught us meeting outside, like, afterward when we were talking about the concert. And all 3 of us, not knowing we were getting called down to the vice principal, because this was before, like, texting and, like, was prominent, and we didn't see each other in the hallways and stuff. So we didn't know we were all called down, right? And all of us said that we met outside talking about the band concert, which we did. So that apparently sounded like I was...
Collusion?
Yeah, a little bit like collusion. So that was the Friday before winter break, right? So I get out of it. It's winter break. I'm just like, okay, I got out of that, right? I think it was the day after New Year's because I think we had the day off from school, right? I get a call from Joey's parents. They called my parents. And they're like, Joey told us everything. He said Tim lit the fire. Right? It's like he doesn't want to get in trouble. He wants Tim to go down because he did it. And my parents were asking me, "He's like, did you do it?" I was like, "No." I told my parents the same story. I told my vice principal. I was like, "No, I was in the bathroom like at the urinal when they did it. Like I don't like maybe he just wants me to get in trouble or something." Right? So I go back to school the next day. Vice principal calls me down like during homeroom. He's like, "Hey, like Joey and Cody came in. They said you lit the fire. I'm going to give you one last chance and ask you again, did you light the fire?" And I was like, "No, I was peeing at the urinal." He's like, "Okay, you can go. You're not in trouble." Joey and Cody got a week of after-school detention, and I got nothing.
Oh.
Stay in school, kids.
Yeah, do that.
Stay in school. Try not to burn it down.
Don't do drugs. And then throw like 10
So-
pounds
Don't
of
do
weed.
drugs and drink at the same time.
Yes,
It's your
yeah.
first time
drugs.
doing both.
Don't light fireworks in a porta potty.
If that wasn't obvious enough.
Yeah, no.
If you are approaching 7 feet tall and damn near 300 pounds, don't try to jump fences.
And be Tom Brady.
Be Tom Brady.
And if cops ask if your apartment, say no and say you'll look for them.
Wish I did that one, but
Yeah.
also, if you can help it, if you're ever in trouble with the law, be white.
That is 100% the truest thing ever said.
And that'll help
If
a lot.
you are in an elevator with a cop, walk the other way.
Always.
Always walk
Even
the
if
other-
you're-
even if there's no other way, just walk the other way.
Even if you are white.
Yeah. Yes, even if you are white and the cop's going through your dorm room. Walk the other way.
That said, what do you think would have happened to you if you had gotten to the dorm at the same time as the cop? Because the cop can't verify that you were ever there.
Yeah, but his drunk-ass roommate could
Yeah,
have.
my roommate was in the room at the time. He said he would have threw me on the bus right away.
Yeah,
I
you're
would've
right.
had to- yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, that wouldn't have been good.
And that would, yeah.
So look, we have morals here. There's like a moral to our
we
stories.
have learned, I think, from our stories. Mostly. I
It
have
wa-
not lit a fire in the bathroom since then.
Allegedly. I haven't had underage people smoke and drink for the first time in my apartment ever since then. Because I strictly only hang out with people around my age now.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it's usually a good rule to just hang out in your age bracket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good rule of thumb.
Unless your counselor has a really hot sister.
Look,
Then you get in
That
her
was-
canoe, literally and figuratively,
Yep.
and you oar the other guy out of the way.
no.
Literally
She
and
got
figuratively.
into my canoe.
Oh.
That's a
Didn't know you
whole
were
other
into,
deal.
Didn't know you were into that stuff.
I'm just saying, that's how the story went. I would have gotten into that canoe, but I tried.
You were also 11.
I was absolutely 100% 11 years old, and she was like 26. So that would not have gone over well at all.
Mm.
But hey, there isn't really a but hey to that. But I feel like the title of this episode is going to be the moral of the story, isn't it?
Possibly.
I don't know, man. That's actually a pretty good title for it. Yeah, I think that's all we got.
Yep.
That's all we got. Sqwadcast.
Out?
Okay, bye.